Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know by now, we got news regarding the golden bottle cap and hyper training. However, there are some additional news and information that I would not share in the blog post when it first came out. Now, granted, more information were added to it, so we're gonna go over that a little bit. It was only just like one thing, but for the most part, there's other stuff that is not in the blog post that I was given information about, so I'm gonna tell it to you guys in this video. Also, we're gonna answer some few questions. So for example, should you get this thing? Who is this thing for? And how does it really work? Let's not waste any time because I'm tired. Let's get on with this video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. It's the boy True Fella. Today's day is Wednesday, June the 18th. I'm trying to figure out, was it like, do I want to do this or do I want to do this? But whatever. Anywho, let's get on with the information, shall we? So before we get on with, some of the hard-hitting questions and some of this information, let me give you guys a recap of how the gold bottle cap works and how hyper training works and how do you get all this stuff and all that jazz. So check this out. In case you're wondering where does all this even come from, it comes from Scarlet and Violet. So yeah, there is a feature in the game where you can use the golden bottle cap on your Pokemon to hyper train that Pokemon to raise the stats, all of it, to the fullest. We'll get more on that later as I compare how it works in Scarlet and Violet to how it works in Pokemon Go. So anywho, let's talk about this. So how do you get the golden bottle cap? So the gold bottle cap will be part of the upcoming Gold Pass Deluxe, which is called Ancient Recovered. So that mug will cost $20 or whatever it is in your local currency, so keep that in mind. Now, it will be available in the in-game shop. However, the best place to pick that joint up is at the Rev store, because you're normally going to get more stuff for $20 as opposed to just getting a Go Pass Deluxe for $20 and that's it. So if you're going to get this, you want to go to the Rev store to get this, by the way. Now, the Gold Pass Deluxe Ancient Recovered will be available for Monday, this Monday that is, June the 23rd at 10 a.m. to Sunday, June the 29th at 6 p.m. local time. Now, the rewards for the Gold Pass Deluxe and the Gold Pass as well, because you're gonna get both at the same time. The Gold Pass is free, by the way, whereas the Gold Pass Deluxe, that's the paid one. All those rewards, including the golden bottle cap, by the way, must be claimed by Sunday, June 29th at 11:59 p.m. local time. At this moment in time, I have no clue what rank you have to reach in order for you to get the gold bottle cap. And I don't even know what the max rank is, whether it's maybe 70, because the website mentioned that if you go to rank 70, then you get this, but don't mention the gold battle cap. It could be 100 or it could be 200. Now, I'm guessing it may be either 100 or 200, because normally in the past when it comes to the whole Gold Battle Deluxe and the Gold Battle Fiasco, the highest rank you can reach is 200. But in this case, you basically have a reek. So I'm not sure if reaching 200 is possible. So the maximum might be 100. Now, in terms of what rank you need to reach to get the bottle cap, I'm assuming it's 100. So whether that's the maximum, or you can reach 100 to get the gold bottle cap, the gold bottle cap rather, and then everything else beyond that is just for you to get dust, like they normally does it. So that might be a possibility as well. But let's move on with more of the information that you all should know. So for Monday, June the 23rd to Friday, June the 27th, you can earn up to 1,000 gold points per day. So obviously there's a limit in terms of the amount of gold points that you can reach, meaning there's a limit in terms of how high you can rank up from that Monday to that Friday. Now, Saturday and Sunday, there is no limit. That's Global Gold Fest weekend right there. So there's no limit during that time frame. Now, in terms of using the golden bottle cap, you can only use it on a Pokemon that is a good buddy or higher. So that may be easy to do, so keep that in mind. Once you use the gold bottle cap, you can raise any or all of the stats of that Pokemon. So for example, if you want to focus on attack, all you gotta do is battle alongside your trainee while they're your buddy. If you want to focus on defense, then you can strengthen your bond with your buddy Pokemon trainee by playing together, exploring, and catching Pokemon. And you want to boost the HP, you can explore alongside your trainee as a buddy. This can include spinning Pokestops, earning buddy candy, or other adventures. So All 3 of these will involve you doing some type of task. So maybe tasks that focus on attack, tasks that focus on defense, tasks that focus on HP. So these tasks must be completed in order for you to boost those stats. Also, you have 365 days to complete the hyper training. So keep that in mind. And also another note is this: it's going to take longer to raise a stat that is like maybe at 0 all the way up to 15 than it was to raise a stat that may be at 9 or 10 to 15, which makes sense, obviously. The gold bottle cap, though, whether you get this thing, well, obviously you're gonna get this thing if you get the gold pass deluxe and you reach the whatever rank it is to get this item. Now, once you get this item, you literally have until Sunday, and this is like a frown right here, Sunday, July the 6th at 11:59 p.m. local time to use the gold bottle cap. So what that means is this: if you were planning on holding on to this thing until Rayquaza comes back and raids, or Mewtwo comes back and raids, you can't do that. Or if you're trying to raid for a community of that Pokemon that you're trying to get candies for, or the Pokemon that you're trying to get for PvP purposes, you can't do that. So you got to have Pokemon in your possession right now that you want to use the gold bottle cap, or you want to try and get a Pokemon that will be available within the next 2 weeks or so. Again, I do not like the fact that the gold bottle cap have a timer on it in terms of when you can use it. I do not like that at all, but it is what it is, but I do not like that. Now let's talk about the difference between the gold bottle cap and Pokemon Go in comparison to Scarlet and Violet. So in Scarlet and Violet, first of all, it's not just 3 stats that you got to be worried about. There's actually 6 of them. So you got HP, you got speed, you got physical attack, you got physical defense, you got special attack, and you got special defense. So there's 6 stats, and you can hyper train all 6 of these stats with the gold bottle cap. In Pokemon Go, there's only 3: attack, HP, and defense. And with the gold bottle cap in Pokemon Go, you can hyper train all 3 if you like. So that's the difference between the 2. Now, here's some additional information that I have for you guys that I received from the Pokemon Go team. So the first bit of information that I have for you guys should be in the blog right now. They might have updated the blog at some point in time, either around recording this video or before this video drop or after this video drop, but I know they're going to update the blog at some point in time with this piece of information, and that is this: you cannot hyper train shadow Pokemon. It sucks because I have like a shadow Pokemon in mind that I want to hyper train, but you can't do it, unfortunately. So keep that in mind. You can, however, hyper train mythical Pokemon, lucky Pokemon, and traded Pokemon. So Pokemon that were traded to you, you can hyper train those. So that's cool. Currently, at this moment in time, unless something happened and I wasn't aware of it yet, there would be no indication on whether or not your Pokemon is a natural hundo or a hyper train hundo. So basically what I mean by that is this: if you were to go into the Pokédex and look up Mewtwo, we don't know if there's going to be any type of indication that says, hey, this Mewtwo was hyper trained, or you have a Mewtwo that's hyper trained or not. We don't know. But because of how detailed the Pokédex is nowadays, I would not be shocked if they made some type of indicator that says that your Pokemon, or you have a Pokemon under this name species that is hyper trained. So I would not be shocked if we see something like that. So there's that. But at this moment in time, like I said, we don't know if that's going to be coming to the game or not. That's just my assumption. And the other additional information that I have is we have no news, no official news that is, on the arrival of the silver bottle cap, aka the regular bottle cap. So I find it funny that they just skipped the regular bottle cap and just went straight for the gold bottle cap. I just find that to be shocking, to be honest. Now, is the gold bottle cap a necessity? Yes, it is, but only to PvPers. So what do I mean by that? So if there's a PvP out there that wants the #1 ranked Pokemon in that naming species. So let me give you an example real quick. So as you can see over here, we have this Umbreon, and I nickname it Umbreon #1. Now why is that? Look at the stats. If you were to go to pvpiv.com and look up Umbreon with these stats, this is the #1 ranked Umbreon in Go Battle League, in Great League to be exact. This right here, 050 50 Umbreon, CP's at 1500, and normally when it comes to Great League, you want the attack stat to be at 0 and the defense and HPs to be at the maximum, if possible. This is the #1 ranked Umbreon in Great League. Now, let's say you want this and you have something like this, a costume Eevee that has 0 attack, but it has, you know, some defense, some HP. You can use the gold bottle cap on this Eevee to hyper train the defense and the HP, but not the attack. So your Eevee can go from this to this. And then all you have to do, and by the way, do not power up the CP of your Eevee. Do not power up the CP of your Pokemon, because if you power it up and you hyper train it, you know, as the stats goes up, that CP goes up. And if your stats are not where you want them to be, and that CP is over 1500 CP, it's no longer good for Great League. So keep that in mind as well. So once again, you use the golden bottle cap on this Eevee, and you make it go from this to this, and then you evolve it to Umbreon. Now it looks like this. And then once you have this, then you can power it up to reach the CP of 1500, and boom, you're all set. You're good to go if you're a PvPer. And this is funny. This is actually ironic, especially since NAIC literally just got done and Worlds is coming up. So if you qualify for Worlds, then yeah, the gold bottle cap might be a necessity for you. So keep that in mind. But outside of that, it's mostly the flex, or if you really want a Shundo. So for example, if you don't have a Shundo at all, if you don't have a Shundo Legendary like me, if you don't have a Lucky Shundo like me, I still need one of those, then yeah, this might be a necessity for you. So you can say, hey look, I finally got a shiny Legendary Shundo Pokemon or whatever. So this might be good for you if you want to get that. On that note, what to use the gold bottle cap on? Well, I just gave you an example, PvP Pokemon. So again, you're a PvPer and you want that #1 ranked Pokemon within that Pokemon naming species. So for example, Umbreon's #1 ranked Umbreon, #1 ranked Charizard, or whatever the case may be, then the gold bottle cap will be good for you here. Again, assuming that the attack stat of that Pokemon is at a 5 or lower, because I don't know what the Hundo PvP IVs are for each and every Pokemon. They're not the same. It's not 0, 15, 15 across the board. It's going to be different. Some they may have a attack stack of 1 or 2, whatever the case may be. So keep that in mind, do your research, and then look for your collection. See if you have a Pokemon that have the attack stats that you need, or even if it's less than that, then you can hyper train the attack stat a little bit, and then you can stop right there and then focus on the defense and the HP. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, or for those of you who are into PvP like that. Now, what else can you use this on? Shinies. So shiny legendaries. For example, shiny legendaries with the special backgrounds. Shiny legendaries that you got from Lucky Trades, or just shiny legendaries in general. So that would be good for that. Shiny mythicals, or a favorite Pokemon that may not be a legendary or mythical, but it's still shiny. So for example, Charizard. I do not have a Shundo Charizard. So I may want to use a gold bottle cap on a shiny Charizard and train it up to Shundo. So I can do something like that. Also, you can use this on rare Pokemon, like for example, Armor Mewtwo, the clone Pokemon. Mythicals that may or may not be shiny, that you can only get one of. So Volcanion just came out. We got Celebi, we got Victini, amongst other Mythicals that are in the game. Even though their shinies are in the game, but you may value their non-shinies more so than their shinies. So you could use a golden bottle cap on that instead. And also, your starter Pokemon. If you still have that, you may want to hyper train that to say, hey look, my starter Pokemon is a Hundo. So that's a good little flex right there, if I do say so myself. Now, why you should not get this? You should not get this if you're not planning on playing the entire Global Gold Fest weekend. Because remember, when it comes to the Gold Pass Deluxe, the one that's coming up, there is a cap on the amount of gold points that you can get from Monday for Friday. But during Global Gold Fest weekend, that Saturday and Sunday, it's unlimited. There's no cap. So that would be the best shot for you to get the lucky, I'm not the lucky trinket, because that's not available here. And that's another thing here. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in the additional information, and I did not. So yeah, let me mention that right here, right now. There will not be a lucky trinket that will be part of the upcoming Gold Pass Deluxe Ancient Recovered thing. There will not be a lucky trinket included in that, by the way. But back to why you may not want to get this. If you're not taking part in Global Gold Fest, then you more than likely will not get the gold points necessary to get the gold bottle cap. So if you're not going to take part in Global Gold Fest, but it's going to be extremely important in you getting the gold bottle cap, then don't get the Gold Pass Deluxe. Don't get it. Don't get it. Now, another reason is because you don't do a lot of raids, and you might not care about getting a Hundo or a Shundo. So if you're the type of person who do like a few raids a day, or a few raids a week, or a few days a month, or whatever the case may be, whatever, then this won't be important to you. This is going to be a waste of money for you. So do not get this if you're not the type of person who cares about hundos, who don't care about shundos, who don't do a bunch of raids. Now, is this worth $20 by itself? No. There is not a single item in Pokemon Go, as it stands right here, right now, that is worth $20. Now, because you're not spending $20 to get the gold bottle cap, you're spending $20 to get the Gold Pass Deluxe that includes the gold bottle cap, meaning there's going to be other stuff that would be included. Now, some of that other stuff they have already announced, but everything else we don't know. They just said and more goodies, or whatever. I hate that, but we don't know what's already included with the Gold Pass Deluxe. So all that combined might be worth $20. So it's up to you whether you value all those things or not. So keep that in mind. Here's another reason why it may be worth $20 for you to get this. If you do a lot of raids, trying to get a shundo, then yeah, this is worth $20 because it's a money saver. So let me explain something to you guys real quick. In the in-game store only, you can get one remote pass. And that one remote pass is worth 195 coins. That's basically $2. Now, in the in-game store, you can get 3 remote raid passes for 525 Pokecoins, where originally it was 585 Pokecoins, but they gave it like a 10% off deal or whatever. So essentially that's slightly over $5. Now, if you were to go by the prices in the in-game store, so you are spending at least $20 to do 12 remote raids. And you might not get a shundo from that. So right off the bat, you have to spend more than $20 to do more remote raids to get the shundo of that one legendary. So there's that. Now, if you were to go to the Rev store, you could get 2 remote raid passes for $3. Or they do have a deal, the Delightful Days box, where you can get 3 remote raid passes, 2 premium battle passes, aka regular raid passes, and 50 postcard pages for $5. So again, if you spend $20 on that, you're looking at 12 remote raid passes, 8 regular raid passes, and that's going to be a grand total of 20 raids right there. So $20 for 20 raids. And you might not get the shundo, which means you're going to have to spend more money. So keep that in mind. Now let's talk about the chances real quick. The chance of you getting a shiny in raids are 1 in 20. And again, it costs $20 for you to hyper train your raid to get a shundo. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Now, hundos are even rarer. You're looking at 1 in 216, meaning you have to do around 216 raids to get a hundo. Now, shundos, even more rarer than that. You're looking at 1 in 4,320 raids, meaning you have to spend over $4,000 to get a shundo. Potentially, it may take you less, it may take you more, but potentially you're looking at around spending $4,320 to get a shundo of that one legendary raid boss. So keep that in mind. And shundos from lucky trades are 1 out of 64. So there's that as well. So outside from the lucky trades, which are free to do, but you still got to do the raids for the most part to get those legendaries, to get those shiny legendaries, as does your trade partner. So now the question is, would you rather spend all that money on raids trying to get the shundo, or just drop $20 and be done with it? Obviously do the hyper training, complete it, and then be done with it. I mean, I'd rather spend the 20. Like, when it comes to Rayquaza, I want the shundo. When it comes to Mewtwo, I want the shundo. So, I mean, I'd rather just drop $20 on a Rayquaza and be done with it. I'd rather drop $20 on the Mewtwo and be done with it. That's me, and that should be most of you if you're doing a bunch of raids trying to get a shundo of some legendary. So, yeah, it's going to be worth $20. It's going to be worth $20. Now, another reason why it's worth $20 is because the gold bottle cap is arguably the rarest item in the game. The only other item that may go toe-to-toe with that is the lucky trinket, which, ironically enough, once upon a time, worth $20. But I think they reduced the price of that, so that's good. But it's arguably the rarest item in the game because we talk about basically you getting an instant shundo of a legendary with a background, of a legendary through a lucky trade, of a mythical, shiny mythical, of anything that's shiny. So yeah, this is going to be extremely rare. And you don't want everybody to get their hands on this as, you know, as easy as possible, as it reduces the rarity of the Pokemon. So again, one of the complaints about Pokemon Go is the fact that the legendaries in the game are not as rare as they should be. Thus, in my opinion, that's why they introduced, you know, some costume legendaries. That's why they introduced legendaries that have special backgrounds and things of that nature. And they inadvertently introduced legendaries that you could get through lucky trades that could be lucky, you know. So shiny legendaries that are lucky. So all of that, combined with the fact that they have 100% IVs, yeah, we make those legendaries rare, as opposed from anybody who just have that legendary. However, if more and more people are able to get the gold bottle cap, then the chance of you having a rare legendary goes down. And we don't want that. We don't want that. So there you go with that. And if it was as easy to get the gold bottle cap, then this would lead to the end of Pokemon Go sooner than later. Because you talk about people with a bunch of gold bottle caps that are able to get more shundos, and because of that, they will not be able to, they will not want to do a lot more raids, they will not want to do a lot more trades, and their interaction with the game will go down because it's like, yo, I got all these shundos, what else is left to do in the game? And then they'll drop the game. We don't want that. We don't want that. So the gold bottle cap, they made it so it's not for everybody unless you drop 20. Now, again, it's not worth it by itself, but because it's a part of the Gold Pass Deluxe, it may be worth it. So there you go with that. Now you're probably wondering, wait a minute now. Aren't you the guy who's been saying every single thing about Pokemon Go should be available for everybody? And when it comes to the features, yeah, that's true. I believe everybody should be able to have the opportunity to do raids, to do trades, to catch Pokemon, spin Pokestops, interact with gyms, do PvP, hatch eggs. Those are all features that makes up Pokemon Go. And of course max battles, I almost forgot about that, and shadow race. I firmly believe that everybody who plays Pokemon Go should be able to take part in all of the features that makes up Pokemon Go. The gold bottle cap is not a feature that makes up Pokemon Go. It's an item that is optional. So either you can drop $20, go for the Gold Pass Deluxe and get the item and use it and then go from there, or don't. It's optional, which brings me to the next point. It's not pay to win. Let's look at it. I mean, what are you trying to win? A raid? We want you to win a raid, because if I'm on the same raid team as you, we want to win the raid. So naturally, we're gonna do everything that we can to win the raid. So if it's pay to win the raid, then yeah, I want that. But the full definition of something that pay to win, raids don't apply to that. Now you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, what about PvP? No, not really. It's still not, because you still need the dust to power up the Pokemon. You need the dust to teach it the second move. You need to use a TM of some kind, whether a regular one or a elite one, to teach you the right moves. And once you have all that, it's not an automatic victory. It's kind of not close to that. So it's not a pay to win when it comes to PvP as well. So there you go with that. And that's all my thoughts on the gold bottle cap and the hyper training fiasco. So leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you have any other questions that were not addressed in this video, then ask them in the description box below, and I will bring it up to the Pokemon Go team, and I will have an answer for you in the comment section below. Now, if you wish this part of the video, as I'm losing my voice, leave in the comment section below gold. If you wish this part of the video, leave in the comment section below gold. And at the very end, you should see two cards. One of them will be something that YouTube recommends. The other one will be the last video that I put out, which was me breaking the news about gold bottle cap and hyper training while doing Gigantamax and Teleon max battles. I'm gonna call it a wrap now because I'm tired. So with all that said, y'all know what this is. This boy New J Gatsby, aka New Steve Nate Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah. Subscribe. Thanks, man. Do it. After you subscribe to the channel, make sure you click the bell icon so you never miss a new video or a live stream ever again. Thanks, guys.
Lewis the trainer, articulating paint. With my tongue, I done things that people said I can't. Now they rank them with the elite, but it's for the people, and victory is part of defeat. Cause when you get back on your feet, then you try again. Learn from mistakes, show them that I got what it takes, and I'm dying to win. I'ma hit and move away.